We all want to be heard, but there are secrets to speaking in a way that people really want to listen. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 of those secrets and how you can use them to speak in a way that people want to listen. They don't interrupt, you really feel heard. My name is Heather Hansen. For 25 years, I was a trial attorney, and I taught my witnesses how to speak in a way that they would be listened to in the courtroom. Now I work with people in the courtroom and outside of the courtroom, teaching them how to tell stories and use evidence to support those stories, and then use the energy of their bodies with tone of voice, body language, and facial expressions to get their message across, to get attention. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 C's of getting your message across. But before we get there, I want to tell you the real secret, and it's a little counterintuitive. The real secret to being heard is to listen. What? Now, listen, I work with a lot of people who come to me and they say, I want to work on my story. I want to work on my body language. I want to work on my tone of voice. I want to work on my facial expressions. I have resting bee face, whatever the case may be. And we do all of that. But the first thing we focus on is listening. When you listen, people want to return the favor. But more importantly, when you listen, you learn so much about your audience. I call your audience your jury. They are the people that you want to influence and persuade. Their decisions, their choices give you your wins. You have a jury. It might be your colleagues if you want help with something at work. It might be your boss or your leaders if you want more money or a promotion. It might be investors if you're pitching a product. It might be your friends if you want to go to a certain restaurant for dinner. If you want to be heard, there are people that you want to hear you, to listen to you. That is your jury. And just like in the courtroom, the better that you know and understand your jury, the more you will be able to craft a message that they want to listen to. But you have an opportunity that I don't have in the courtroom. I don't practice in a jurisdiction, or didn't. Now I do consulting all across the United States. But when I practiced, it wasn't in a jurisdiction where the jurors could ask questions. And more importantly, there are no jurisdictions where in the middle of trial, you can turn to your jury and say, does that make sense? Is that what you wanted to hear? Does something need clarification? But outside of the courtroom, we get to do that. So do it. Listen to the people that you want to speak to. If you want to be heard by a certain group of people, listen to them, know them, understand their pains and their pleasures, what they want and what they don't want. The more that you understand them, the more that you can craft stories and evidence and the energy of your body to speak to them, which is going to make everything else so much easier. So that is the real foundation. Listen. And then we get to the 3 C's of a wonderful message. The first is be clear. One of the things that happens is when we're asking for something, if we're speaking, we often know what we're speaking about so well that we forget what it's like not to know it. This is called the curse of knowledge. Happens all the time. And I defended doctors in medical malpractice cases. It happens all the time to doctors because doctors know their kind of medicine so well that they forget what it's like not to know it. You have the same thing. Whatever it is that you're talking about, you live it, you know it, you've experienced it, you've studied it. And so you too have the curse of knowledge. And that sometimes makes you less clear. So you need to really think about, am I being clear? Is my message concise, to the point, and understandable? One of the things you really want to consider is the words that you use. In the courtroom, if I say one word that the jury doesn't understand, they don't even hear the next 10 words that I say. Think about this. It makes perfect sense. If someone gets up to the jury and says, this is a case about osteomyelitis, you can see the jurors' eyes get big and they're thinking, I told these lawyers I don't know anything about medicine. What am I doing here? I should be home with my kids. I should be at work. And their minds are gone. And they are definitely missing 10 words. But if you are clear and you say, this is a case about a bone infection, all of a sudden the jury is listening. You have the same curse of knowledge. So whatever it is that you are asking for, that you are presenting, that you are talking about, make it as clear as possible. Imagine that you are speaking to a 9-year-old. How would you convey your message to a 9-year-old? That clarity will get you attention. And that brings us to our second C, which is be concise. Our greatest resources in this time and era are time and attention. We don't get more of it. It is constantly fleeting. It is going away. And if you waste someone's time or you waste their attention, you are going to be at a disadvantage. So you want to be concise, short sentences, short ideas. Look for where you are being too wordy, too many ideas, throwing too many ideas at the other person. Brevity is the goal. There's a great way to practice this, which is to record yourself giving your speech, talking about the thing you want to talk about, and then listen back to see where can I be more clear and where can I be more concise? Where can I prune my message down to one or two main points and minimize the sentences, minimize the words? There's a great book on this topic. It's called Smart Brevity. I do want to caution you, though, that sometimes in that book, they take a big risk. They're so focused on being concise in that book that they risk the third C, which is credibility. We're going to get there in a minute. But you want to be careful that you don't become so concise that you lose credibility, that you become less believable. So with that caveat, I would suggest reading that book to look at ways that you can make your message even more concise, even more focused, and really work on pruning away the extra. And now we get to that third C, be credible. Listen, you can be concise, you can be clear, you can listen all you want. If the people, your jury, doesn't believe you, you can't win. They're not going to listen. They're not going to engage. They're not going to give you what you want. And so credibility is key. In my work, I teach people how to build credibility efficiently and effectively. And we do it with the belief triangle, 3 sides. One side of the belief triangle is they have to believe you. The second side, they have to believe in you. And the foundation is they have to believe that you can help them. So believe you. When you're giving a message and you're making a promise, make sure that you keep that promise. If you're setting an expectation, you've got to meet that expectation. And when you can't, you have to own it. When you do this, people are far more likely to listen to you. That's the first side. The second side is believe in you. And that is you sharing your experience, your training, your education, your passion, your talent on the topic at hand. A great way to build this kind of credibility is with referrals, recommendations. But if you have credibility, people are going to listen to you. They're going to want to hear you. They're going to not interrupt you. So you want to build that kind of credibility as well. This is the kind of work that I do with people. If you have questions on that, put them in the comments and I will address them one by one in more videos. But the foundation of the belief triangle, guys, is the most important part. And it's the part most people forget. They have got to believe that you can help them. It makes them care less about the other two. If the people listening to you, your jury, believe that you can help their pain, solve their problem, make life better for them, they are going to listen to you. And that brings us back to where we started. How do you build that belief that you can help their pain? By listening. Because when you listen, you hear more about their pain. You hear more about their problems. You know their pain and their problems so that you can speak in a way that you address it. And that is going to make you so attractive, so compelling to the people around you. They're going to want to listen to you speak because they know what you say is going to help them. If you have questions about that, let me know in the comments below and I will answer that. Subscribe to my channel to get more videos like this one. And in the meantime, as always, take good care.